Hey MAGA, you know how I know that you're the bad guys? Because you never promote the things that Republicans that are doing that are good for America and good for Americans. But instead, you laugh about what they're taking away from Americans. And somehow you think this will never come around and bite you on the ass. You don't try to bring people over to your side. You look for people to troll. When Elon did his special gesture, all y'all did was come to his defense. Instead, you put still images of Democrats with their hands in the air, tried to pretend like it was the same thing, like we wouldn't know the difference. Which was basically your way of saying, see, it can't be that bad if your side does it too, instead of saying, oh yeah, that's not a good thing to do at all. What you fail to understand is this is exactly what your cult leaders want you to do. They want you to come across as some of the most disgusting people on the planet. They want you to feel uncomfortable around anybody who's not specifically in your echo chamber. That's why they're trying to give you social media sites like X and Truth Social where you can just bond over your hatred of different people. There are places where you can say the N-word freely and you can tell racist jokes and misogynistic jokes about beating women. All this does is removes you further and further away from society, which is exactly what your cult leaders want you to do. They want you to feel isolated. Not only do they love the division of you being away from the rest of society, but they also know that you have their back no matter what. And the best part is, they don't even have to pay you. You'll do this shit for free just so you can feel like you're in their club, but you're not. Not in any way. But then you get upset that your friends and family don't want to have anything to do with you anymore because you are becoming one of the worst people in society. The only people that you have to bond with are people like you or worse, and you don't want to have anything to do with them. But you willingly pissed away everybody who ever cared about you with your shitty attitude and your shitty cult love. And even when you understand that the things that the cult is telling you is an outright lie, you'll still spread it anyway because you want to feel part of that team. You know deep down that you are being the bad guy, and somehow you have tried to convince yourself that being the bad guy is cool. How many bad guys from history do you remember favorably? Probably not very many. But the thing about most bad guys is, they aren't really remembered at all. Most people try to forget them the moment that they're gone. If you're a millennial or older, you probably remember Rush Limbaugh and how much he was a major voice for the far right. He would talk about how the gays deserve AIDS and how the poor were mentally inferior. He even made fun of Michael J. Fox for having Parkinson's. He was that kind of an asshole. But now that he's gone, nobody really talks about him at all. Not even anybody on the right. I actually had to think for a while to come up with an example to use here. But anybody who thinks about Rush Limbaugh now doesn't remember him fondly. They remember how he made them feel, and whether you were on the left or on the right, he always made you angry. And like Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. And if that's the way you want to be remembered, go off, I guess. But when you're an old person and your family drops you off in the cheapest, most horrible nursing home that they can find because they can't stand to be around you, I hope you use that time to reflect on your attitude throughout your life. And when you do, I want you to ask yourself one question. Was it worth it?